Look at your company's lunch hour. In a traditional setup, the cafeteria operates as a high-strain logistics bottleneck. Management eventually has to decide if a digital cafeteria management system is a luxury tech play or an unavoidable operational necessity. The core issue is the productivity leak. Every minute an employee spends in a physical queue is a minute lost to work, rest, or collaboration. This graph plots company headcount against daily hours lost to waiting. At the 500 employee mark, a standard 15 to 20-minute wait compounds into exactly 167 hours of lost organizational productivity every single day. Unchecked cafeteria wait times drain hundreds of hours of paid organizational time throughout the workweek. The line is only the visible symptom. Behind the counter, manual friction creates compounding delays through cash handling, messy handwritten tickets, and manual billing reconciliation. Because legacy operations rely on manual guesswork to predict daily headcount and menu preferences, traditional cafeterias generate a 20% baseline of daily food wastage. There is also an HR impact to consider. Poor workplace amenities, including frustrating dining experiences, directly correlate to higher employee turnover rates. A CMS aims to drive employee retention and workflow efficiency by digitizing these manual touchpoints. Fixing the cafeteria bottleneck reclaims lost capital and protects workforce morale. Determining if this transition makes sense requires weighing specific digital inputs against their real-world trade-offs. This matrix compares traditional methods against the required digital systems. Where traditional operations rely on physical lines, a digital CMS requires deploying self-service kiosks and a mobile pre-ordering app. These tools typically cut counter queues by 60% and improve overall service speed by 30%. This speed requires a direct trade-off: the upfront capital expenditure for hardware and software licensing. There is also a behavioral requirement. The system only provides value if the organization successfully drives the cultural shift needed for employees to adopt the app. Successful adoption unlocks predictive ordering, using customer data to anticipate peak rushes and menu preferences before the lunch hour begins. Hardware investments only yield speed improvements if they are coupled with a successful user adoption strategy. The digital shift also impacts back-of-house kitchen and administrative operations. Automated inventory algorithms replace manual guesswork, reducing food spoilage by 20% and generating direct cost savings. This creates an operational requirement for the kitchen. Staff must strictly adhere to digital recipe management and data entry for the inventory system to remain accurate. On the administrative side, automated temperature logging and contactless QR menus create a digital paper trail that simplifies health department audits. This convenience creates a new IT burden. Digitizing payment and health data requires strict PCI compliance and role-based access controls. While back-of-house automation reduces physical food waste, it shifts operational pressure from the kitchen staff to IT security oversight. The physical integration process stands as the primary barrier to adoption, requiring an active cafeteria to be digitized without a service shutdown. This chart maps the operational friction you will experience across an 8-week implementation timeline. Phase 1 requires cross-departmental coordination between facilities and HR. Phase 2 involves the technical lift of integrating the CMS with existing software. Phase 3 is the point of maximum friction. Staff must learn new digital workflows while serving the daily lunch rush. In Phase 4, the system goes live and operations normalize at a higher efficiency baseline. This transition requires 2 full months of active project management, drawing focus away from other corporate initiatives. Organizations must have the endurance to manage this 8-week transition to reach the digital dining baseline. After the 8-week integration period, the organization finally enters the operational reality of a stabilized, fully digital system. Most organizations achieve a complete return on investment within 12 to 18 months of launch. This payback is driven by 3 key factors: thousands of recouped productivity hours, lower administrative labor costs, and 20 mid to large enterprises with over 500 employees or scaling multi-location companies are the primary candidates for a CMS. At this scale, cloud-based software allows companies to handle triple-digit headcount growth without a linear increase in cafeteria staffing. Smaller offices with under 200 employees or companies with highly remote workforces should likely avoid this upgrade. These environments lack the peak lunch volume necessary to generate the bottlenecks or waste volumes required to justify the 8-week implementation. If an organization possesses the necessary scale, a digital CMS stops the productivity leak and reduces waste, establishing the cafeteria as a measurable corporate asset.
Like, subscribe, and share.